Hello, everybody. It's Darlene Taylor, the Recycled Mom. Happy Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. We are coming to a close of our extended weekend for a lot of us here in the United States. I'm thinking that a lot of people are still in a turkey coma, and if that is you, go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the comments. Let me know if that is you. It's not me though. Let's see, I don't see my video here. Am I live? Am I live? Can everybody hear me? Here we go. Okay, I see him. All right, so we got that taken care of. I am Darlene Taylor, the Recycled Mom, coming at you today live for a coffee chat on Sunday. And I'm a little early. I usually start at 2:30 Eastern time. And so I'm a little bit early here just because I want to get some things up and running and also to share this. So if you will give me just a second, I'm going to share this on my Facebook page, The Recycled Mom. And if you're already watching and you have a minute, I invite you to go over to Facebook and go visit The Recycled Mom and go like my page. Yes, I shamelessly asked for likes. Can you believe it? Oh, and I am 15 subscribers away on YouTube from 200. So I really want to see 200 by Christmas time. So go click subscribe and give me some likes because I really want to hit this goal and I need your help to do it. So I am going to share this chat on a page that I manage, which is The Recycled Mom. I see somebody is watching, but I don't know who it is. And I'm typing in caps. Live now! This is so fun. If you're watching now, tell me if you're from the United States, tell me how your Thanksgiving was. We are talking today about fulfillment versus happiness. And I totally did botch that spelling right there. Yes, I can spell. All right, here we go. Sharing on Facebook. All right. All right, so I shared that. So thank you for bearing with me if you're watching the replay. And if you do watch the replay, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you like this video, you like my channel, you like what we're talking about, you can click subscribe and hit the notification bell and you will get notified when we go live and when we upload new videos. So we are heading into heading into the holiday season. For some of my friends who will go unnamed, but they started decorating in October. So they are overachievers in my book. Excuse me. Just one second. I have like an eyelash or something. There we go. Okay. So tell me how your Thanksgiving was. We enjoyed time with our family. Just my family. Don't do anything too elaborate here at my house. But I enjoyed the time with the family every year and doing some of those once a year traditions that we look forward to. So it was a good day, good year. Just celebrating my family, celebrating. I cannot get there. We go. I think I got it this time. So tell me what you do on your Thanksgiving. Tell me what things that you celebrate. I also did a previous video that I uploaded earlier this week, and it was Thanksgiving Q&A. It was a collaboration with some other moms, and we're sharing some of the favorites from the Thanksgiving and from the Thanksgiving time and from the fall season, and just some things that we're thankful for. So I invite you to go look at that, and you can hear about some of the things that we do and how we celebrate our Thanksgiving. So today, we're going to talk about fulfillment versus happiness. Are they different? Are they the same? Can you achieve them? Can you achieve happiness in life? Can you be fulfilled in life? And it's also something that you can actually choose. Did you know that? You have a choice. You can either choose fulfillment or you can choose happiness. And let me tell you what the difference is. Fulfillment in life comes from giving. And we are in a season right now in here in America, but I'm sure across the globe, we're in a season of giving. We have a lot of holidays that we celebrate, from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. And when we give to others, and we give of ourselves, that brings fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from giving. It brings value, gives you purpose in life. And happiness comes from getting. When I get gifts, I'm happy. When I give gifts, I'm fulfilled. When I give time, when I give of myself, I am fulfilled. When I share myself with others, there's a feeling of fulfillment, of satisfaction. But yes, happiness does come from getting. So that is my just my little topic, my little question for today. Which will you choose? Do you act more from fulfillment? Do you act more out of, I want to be happy? A lot of times you'll notice this in our children. Our children are just total happiness seekers. I was going to say suckers. They suck the happiness right out of me. But yes, children do have that kind of a one-track mind. They operate from a place of wanting to be happy, and they are happy. They don't understand what fulfillment is yet. They don't understand what giving is. So they're always operating from, I want to be happy. This doesn't make me happy. The more I get, the more happy I am, and that kind of thing. So we have to teach our children that it's not always about getting, it's about giving. It's about giving back. It's about thinking about others. And that is what brings true fulfillment in life. How do you view your life? Okay, actually, that could be question number 2. Question number 1 is, what do you choose, fulfillment or happiness? Question number 1, how do you feel, where do you feel that you operate from most of the time, fulfillment or happiness? Okay, and question number 2 would be, what I want to talk about perspective versus perception. So it's the same thing. You're viewing your life, and you're disappointed over personal expectations not being met. And again, that's personal expectations. And how are you perceiving? So are you I'm trying to get my thoughts out, and I can't even get my thoughts out, because part of the reason is that I'm talking to myself. Oh my goodness. So for example, are you teaching others versus being taught? Not that these are bad in and of themselves, but one is happiness and one is fulfillment. So teaching others is fulfillment. It is giving. There is value there. Being taught is happiness. Now, we do need to be taught, but we need to be taught so that we could turn around and teach others. That's full circle, and that's where fulfillment comes in. Another one would be seeking unity. Do you seek unity, or do you promote disunity? And there's going to have to be some self-evaluation here. So are you seeking unity with others? When you do that, you are bringing value. Are you, and you're giving of yourself, you're giving to others so that you can have the unity. And if you are promoting disunity, it's all about, well, what I can get, what is in it for me, that's going to promote the discord in your life, in your marriage, in your relationships. Okay, so one brings fulfillment, the other brings happiness, but happiness will only last for a short time. Are you living by faith or are you living in fear? We have, in living by faith, let me just talk about faith for a second. Faith is an action word. Okay, faith is not a noun. Faith is not I'm Catholic, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm this, that, the other thing. That's a religion, that is a belief. But faith is an action. You have to exercise that faith that you have. Faith is like a muscle. In order for it to get stronger, for you to be able to step out on that faith, you have to exercise that muscle. So are you living by faith or are you living in fear? Fear being like living by the moment, living by, I need to get what I can right now because I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm not going to have it. I need to hold on to this so tight because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. Do we live by faith or are we living by fear? Are you governed by truth or are you governed by feelings? That's another one. What rules your spirit? Does truth rule your spirit or do your feelings rule your spirit? And I venture to say there are a lot of people in this world, and all of us, I guess, at some point in our lives tend to live by feelings and not by truth. Someone once told me that truth doesn't care about your feelings. Okay, truth is truth. Life doesn't care about your feelings. I mean, life goes on, and either you're going to live it or you're not. Life doesn't care about your feelings. It moves on. And it's the same thing with truth. Truth is truth, and no matter what you feel or how you feel, it doesn't change truth. And that sounds harsh, but that's what it is. If you are governed by truth, you're going to be able to be fulfilled in yourself and with who you are, your place in life, regardless of what else is happening around you. If you are governed by your feelings, then you're always going to be living in fear, and you're going to be promoting disunity, and you're going to be very critical of yourself, and just always operating from a getting standpoint. Are you desiring to grow and desiring to challenge yourself to grow? Or are you desiring just to be happy? Do whatever I can just because it's comfortable and it's happy. Oh my word, this happens with my kids. My kids, and especially, I'm a homeschool mom. And sometimes I think the downfall to homeschooling is that they're not in that public school setting where they're having some deadlines to meet, or having a project to present or a paper to read. And so when we try to do those things here at home, they're like, why should I bother doing that? Because it's just us here as a family. So they're like, why do I need to do a project? Why do I need to write this paper to read aloud because it's just us here at home? I think that does get to be a little bit of a downfall. So the challenge that they're feeling, like the personal challenge that you have to complete that project to make it look good because you want it to be the best, because you want to, maybe you want to impress someone, or you want, that feeling of accomplishment, that sometimes I have to work extra hard in trying to instill that personal challenge in my children, because they're not getting it from the outside in the classroom like you would. Because most of the time, they're just, my son especially, he'll do what he needs to do just to check it off the list. Here, I did exactly what was required, and no more, and that makes me happy, right? And I'm pushing them to push themselves to, to challenge themselves so that they'll grow, and they're just not understanding it. So that's fine. That's fine. So, but for you, this brings me to one of the last things on my list is are you developing self-awareness, or are you just reacting emotionally to everything? You're just living your life in a reactive state. And so what does that mean? Well, obviously you understand. Are you developing self-awareness? That means that you need to be understanding how you feel, what you feel about things. Am I? Again, it's like, how am I? What is it like to live with me? What is it like to be friends with me? What is it like to be married to me? What's it like to be my sister or my brother? That kind of thing. That, there's a looking at yourself, like stepping out of yourself and looking at how you are conducting yourself in that relationship or in that situation. Again, what's it like to work with me? There's one in there of those too. But emotionally reacting, emotional reactiveness, that is just, for example, when we get up in the morning and the first thing we do is check our phone, okay? I know a lot of you do it because I do it too, and I see you on Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or something, and we're checking our phone and we're reacting to things, good or bad. It's a reaction, and we are training ourselves that that's what we're going to do all day long, from first thing in the morning till the time we go to bed, and we react. We scroll through and we're like, oh man, that just burns my biscuits. Did you see how idiot? Oh, just like the day after the election, that's the perfect time to see if you are emotionally reacting to things. So our emotions, that means that you're being governed by your feelings and your emotions and not truth or a more mature character. The signs of someone who is mature in their character, or mature as some people say, is someone who is developing self-awareness so that they will challenge themselves personally to grow, so that they will be governed by truth. They will live by faith. They will seek unity in their relationships and with others. They will evaluate themselves, and then they will teach others. Someone who is acting out of an immature, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but someone who's acting with an immature character would be someone who is always emotionally reacting to things, and instead of taking a step back and being aware of the emotions so that they will respond instead of react. So an immature person will react emotionally to things. They will always desire the happiness or comfort. They will be governed by their feelings, which will lead them to live by fear, which then will promote disunity within their relationships, both personal and also work and that kind of thing. They will always be criticizing themselves and the things around them in their life, and they will always operate from a place of I always need to learn, or I always need to be taught something I can't learn for myself, that kind of thing. So where do you fall? I know that a lot of times I fall on the mature side, but yet I do find myself falling. I get in the ruts of having immature character, where I will find myself reacting a lot versus being more controlled or more self-aware, recognizing that something is going on and I'm acting emotionally versus responding and having my emotions in check and understanding how I feel about things. Something that someone told me was that wisdom is understanding. Wisdom in life comes from applying the information you have attained in your own life. Things that you've learned, this is what we talk about in group a lot, that when I was in the addictions discipleship program, we had in the recovery group, that was the word we're starting to use now, in the recovery group that I was in, it was taught that you don't understand something until you're able to apply it to your life. So you're going through and you're learning principles, you're learning how to live a clean life, how to follow Jesus, how to live for him, and Bible truths, that kind of thing. When you understand it is when you're able to apply it to your life, not just regurgitating information. Like if I was to ask you what's 2 plus 2, you'd be able to tell me 4, right? You're able to regurgitate that information back to me. You're able to respond to it because I asked you a question and you knew it from memory, but you don't know it in your heart. And that's where when we're learning things in life, we're learning things about ourselves, we're learning biblical truths, we apply them into our heart, and then we are able to live by it. That means we have attained the wisdom, the understanding of that principle. So, so when it comes to self-evaluation, when I asked you, where are you at when you fall on this list of things, fulfillment versus happiness, are you emotionally responding to the way, to things in your life? Are you emotionally responding? That is a mature self-evaluation. Saying that, hey, you know what? Something's going on right now, and I'm having this feeling toward this situation, toward what this person said to me. Okay, am I emotionally responding? I got hot under the collar. You offended me. You said this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whoa! Put on the brakes and check yourself. I'm emotionally responding to this. Why? Instead of saying, hey, you know what? Yes, that word, that thing, that person, yep, they hurt me, but you know what? I understand that, yes, I am hurt, and I don't need to retaliate. I mean, that kind of thing. You had a mature self-evaluation, and then you responded instead of reacting. And reacting would be you want to punch that person in the face, or responding would be to seek unity, to seek resolution, conflict resolution. You have recognized that there's something going on, and rather than blowing up about it, you seek to restore relationship or to bring unity to the whole thing. So, the greater responsibility that you have, or that we have, I shouldn't say you, because this is me too. So the greatest responsibility that we have in life is to understand how I react or how I respond to people's words and actions. It's not about what I say. It's about how I respond and react. And if you are just having a knee-jerk reaction to something, to people's words or actions, then you are acting out of emotions. And we need to figure out why. You need to step back and say, I'm emotionally responding. Why? Okay. If you are responding where you're, instead of the knee-jerk reaction of wanting to punch that person in the face, and you're emotionally, or you are responding to the person instead, you're responding to the situation versus the word that was said, or your feeling to that. You're responding to the situation versus your feeling, and your response in that situation is going to be to restore and unity, restore the relationship. Seek peace. Are you a peace seeker? I know I feel like I'm babbling, but when I'm on here and well, this whole thing, I have to go edit this entire video. Or not the video, I have to go and edit the title to this, so sorry. If you're watching right now, it's not Weekly Reflections and my Myers-Briggs test. I'm going to go back after the chat and fix the title. Today is about fulfillment versus happiness. When you get to that point of you're able to have you are aware of when someone says, okay, what can I think of that's not like too controversial? Okay, let's say this is going to be very, very simple. When I hear the word rag, that triggers an emotional response in me. And I, again, I say this is very very watered down, but it's the quickest example I could think of. When I say when someone says the word rag, I prefer dishcloth, or I can compromise and do dish rag, but when someone calls the washcloth in the sink that you wash your dishes with a rag, I don't like that. Now, again, I don't want to punch the person in the face. So again, but on a very light level, that is an emotional response I have to something that someone said. And for me to blow up at that person because of something they said that I don't like, that's not their fault. That is my response, my emotional response to something that they said. It has nothing to do with them, and it has really nothing to do with what they said. It is my response because I don't like that word, right? So I'm like, hey, they said rag. I don't like it, but I don't need to punch them in the face over it. I can let that go. Hence the saying, pick your battles, right? I think that's where that comes from. I don't need to, because I know that there are just those certain words I don't like. What I can do is, and like what my husband does at work, if there is something that someone says that rubs him the wrong way or that is offensive to him, he will go to that person directly and he'll say, hey, you know what? Do you think you could not say that around me? What is he doing? He knows, he's self-aware that that particular thing that that person is saying, usually it's probably taking the Lord's name in vain. For example, like, I'm not gonna say it, but like, GD. And when they swear and they say GD, that hurts my husband. Now he knows that, so he's already done a self-evaluation. He knows that person saying that is saying it because they're upset at something. It has nothing to do with that person personally, and it's really not about what they said. Although his reaction was, I don't like that. But my husband doesn't offend easily, so because he knows, he understands that word was said, and it's that person, it was just in the moment. If it happens repeatedly, he will go to that person and say, would you mind if you could not say that around me? So what he's doing is trying to seek unity in this situation. See, he's a peace seeker, trying to seek a work environment that he doesn't have to hear that all the time. Now what happens after that? If the other person is immature, then it could go horribly wrong, and it's like it could become bad. But thankfully, he works in a workplace where people are mature, and this other person can say, "Oh, I am so sorry. I don't want to, I don't want to come across as offensive." So they'll use something else in place. Instead of saying GD, they'll say something else. So those are some examples there for you. So again, truth about what is really going on. Okay, again, taking a step back from the situation. And just because you feel something, you've got, what that person said is making me feel, uncomfortable, or I feel this or I feel that about a situation. Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's true. Your feelings about your situation or about an event don't change what the truth is. The feelings that you have about what God's word says about the truth about you, in the way you feel about that, doesn't change what truth is. The way you feel about this, that, or the other thing does not change what truth is. Like I said earlier, truth doesn't care. Truth doesn't care about your feelings. Okay, so when you feel that you are worthless and you're like not important, and feeling rejected, and all of these negative things about you that are not true, but when you're feeling that way, you're caught up in your feelings, you're caught up in how you are seeing, how you're perceiving a situation, how you're perceiving yourself. Okay, and that is not necessarily the truth. Okay, the truth about you is that you are worthy, and I have a video in my Straight Talk playlist that talks and addresses that topic about you being worthy. You are already a worthy soul. So Just because you feel something doesn't mean it's necessarily true. And your feelings don't change what the truth really is. So I have a question for you. We'll love to hear your comments or what your thought is on this. But when was the last time you controlled a thought popping into your mind? When was the last time that you controlled a single thought popping into your mind? Well, I'm going to tell you the answer is never. Because you cannot control a thought popping into your mind. Okay? They come in. They come in. It's what you do after. When was the last time you meditated on a thought? Well, that would be all the time. You can't control the thoughts popping in. And I'm sorry, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. It's a warm day today. And I tried to go light, but man, I get in here and I get these lights on. And so, the thing is, people, is you have to understand that, yes, there are these thoughts that come into your mind. You cannot control those, so stop trying to control those, okay? What you need to do, or what you actually have control over, is what you do with that thought when it pops into your mind. Okay? If you meditate on that thought and you spend time on it and you mull over it and you roll it around in your head all the time, that's when you get into problems. You have a choice to think or not think about a thought. Okay? Something comes into your mind. What are you going to do with it? And the Bible tells us to cast down every vain imagination that exalts itself above God. That's what that is. That's what that is. And when you have a thought that comes in, you're like, oh, I don't want to keep thinking about this. You have a choice. You don't have to think about it. You need to know that, and you need to apply that and exercise that, because you do not have to think about these thoughts. If you're struggling, like I'm struggling with my thought life, I'm struggling with all of this stuff, okay? And I'm going to sit there and tell you, just stop. Because you don't have to think about those thoughts. You turn and you think upon something else. Think upon something that's positive. Listen to positive music. Listen to something that's going to, maybe even a YouTube video, a podcast, wherever you're at, go for a walk and start intentionally thinking and looking on things that are positive. Having a positive person in your life, or several, that will always talk to you positive things, and don't push back on that, because these people are trying to help you. No matter what you feel or what you say, truth doesn't change, okay? That's about all I have to say for today. And I'm very sad that there are some people that did not come into the chat and didn't comment. I'm just talking to myself and talking to whoever decides to watch the replay. I'm going to go over the list again. So, fulfillment versus happiness. Fulfillment comes from giving. Giving of yourself, giving of your time. Okay? And when you are giving, when you're operating out of a place of fulfillment, you are able to teach others. This is the mature character operating from a place of fulfillment. You will be able to teach others. You will be able to have a mature self-evaluation. You will seek unity with others. You will live by faith. Remember, faith is an action word. It's not, faith doesn't mean religion. You will live by faith. You will be governed by truth. Number 6, you'll be desiring growth and personal challenge. And you will develop self-awareness. You will have this self-awareness about you. That is a person who is operating out of fulfillment, out of a place of giving, out of mature character. Okay? Now, someone who is operating from a place of always getting, always wanting to be happy. Okay? Happiness is not a negative thing, but you're just seeking after your happiness only. and a place from getting, and a character that is not mature. I'm going to say immature, okay? That is a person that is always wanting to or have to be taught. There's no personal learning. So someone that's always having to be taught, who is very always self-criticizing, very critical of themselves. They promote or they enable disunity in their lives and in their relationships in their work environment. They live in fear. They are governed by their feelings. They are always just desiring to be happy and not willing to go through a challenge. And they are always emotionally reactive. Okay? So the question is, where do you fall? Which will you choose? Will you choose to operate from a place of fulfillment or a place of happiness? So that is that, and I babbled for half an hour, and I had a coffee talk versus a coffee chat. That's all right. It's here for the replay. It's here for you to watch. And I thank you. There are 2 people watching, and I have no idea who they are. And I got 1 like. So thank you very much for those of you that have watched. Those of you that are watching the replay. I will be here next Sunday. Will I be here next Sunday? Yes, I could be here next Sunday. And I think I'm going to try a different day. So tune in. I'm just going to have to try to pick another day of when we'll do a chat. I'm feeling that Sunday afternoons are just not going to work for me to have an audience. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful week. I wish you all a week full of emotional health, and that you guys will make mature decisions and be able to gain that wisdom in your life, that you'll be able to apply what you learn, and that you will never have to respond emotionally, that you'll always be able to know how you feel and always seek to bring unity and peace into your situation. So with that, happy kickoff to the holiday season, and I will catch you in the next video.